The entire school went silent when Liam Carter held Maya Johnson's hand in the middle of the hallway. Phone stopped recording. Teachers froze. Students stared like they had seen something impossible. Maya's dark eyes filled with fear. Liam's rich parents owned half the city. Maya's mother cleaned houses for people like them. Nobody expected the golden white boy to stand beside the quiet black girl everyone ignored. Then Liam looked directly at the crowd and said, "I love her." Gasps exploded everywhere. A football player laughed loudly. Someone whispered, "His father will destroy him." But Maya noticed something worse. Liam's older brother was secretly filming everything. With a dangerous smile, rain hammered the city that night. Maya sat beside her tiny bedroom window while sirens echoed outside. Her mother worked double shifts at a hotel downtown. Bills covered the kitchen table. Maya tried focusing on homework, but her hands kept shaking after what happened at school. Suddenly, her phone buzzed. One message. Unknown number. I meant every word. It was Liam. She stared at the screen for a long time. Rich boys never looked at girls like her. Especially boys from powerful families. Yet his eyes earlier felt real. Honest. Dangerous. Then another message appeared. Meet me tomorrow. Please. Maya's heart raced fast. But outside her apartment building, a black SUV slowly parked across the street. The next afternoon, Maya found Liam waiting near an old bookstore downtown. He wore a hoodie instead of his expensive school clothes. For once, he looked normal. Human. Nervous. You came, he whispered. Maya crossed her arms. Your family hates people like me. Liam lowered his eyes. I'm not my family. For a moment, the world around them disappeared. The traffic. The cold wind. The judgment. He handed her a small paper bag. Inside was her favorite chocolate from the little shop near school. She never told anyone she liked it. How did you know? Liam smiled softly. I notice everything about you. Maya felt her walls crack slightly. But across the street, someone hidden behind dark sunglasses was watching them carefully. Weeks passed quietly. Liam and Maya met in secret places around the city. Rooftops. Empty diners. Parks after sunset. He listened to her dreams about becoming a writer someday. She listened to his fears about living inside his father's shadow. One night, they sat beside the river under glowing city lights. I feel free with you, Liam admitted. Maya laughed softly. That's because nobody controls you here. Their fingers slowly touched. Electricity rushed through both of them. Then Liam leaned closer. Maya could hear his breathing. Her heart pounded harder than ever before. Their first kiss happened under the sound of distant thunder. But neither of them noticed the camera flash from nearby bushes. The photo spread online overnight. Millionaire son dating poor black girl. Students whispered cruel things in school hallways. Some mocked Maya openly. Others acted like she suddenly became famous. Liam walked proudly beside her anyway. Until his father arrived. Richard Carter stepped out of a black luxury car wearing a cold expression that terrified everyone. Teachers immediately looked away. He stared directly at Maya. You, he said quietly, stay away from my son. Maya felt frozen. Liam stepped forward angrily. You don't control my life. Richard's eyes turned dark. You have no idea what this family can do. Then he leaned closer to Maya and whispered something that made her blood run cold. You will regret this relationship. That evening, Maya returned home and found her mother crying at the kitchen table. An eviction notice sat beside unpaid bills. We have 3 days, her mother whispered painfully. Maya's chest tightened. Then she noticed something strange. A business card beside the notice. Carter Enterprises. Liam's father was involved. Maya felt anger rising inside her like fire. She immediately called Liam. He's hurting my family. Liam sounded shocked. I swear I didn't know. But Maya suddenly wondered if loving Liam was destroying everything she cared about. Outside their apartment, thunder shook the sky again. And downstairs, the landlord was speaking to 2 men wearing black suits. Liam secretly brought Maya and her mother to stay inside an empty guest house near his family estate. It felt like another world. Marble floors. Huge windows. Silence everywhere. Maya hated it immediately. This place smells like rich people hiding secrets, she muttered. Liam laughed for the first time in days. That night, they danced slowly in the kitchen while old music played softly from his phone. Maya rested her head against his chest. For one peaceful moment, the pain disappeared. Then Liam suddenly froze. What's wrong? Maya asked. He stared at a locked door at the end of the hallway. Nobody is supposed to open that room. But from inside the room, came the sound of someone crying quietly. Maya opened the locked door before Liam could stop her. Inside sat an elderly black woman surrounded by old photographs. She looked frightened at first. Then her eyes widened when she saw Maya. You look exactly like her, the woman whispered. Like who? Maya asked carefully. The woman reached toward a dusty picture frame. Inside was a photo of a young black woman holding hands with a younger Richard Carter. Maya's stomach dropped. That was Richard's first love, the old woman said sadly. But his family destroyed her life. Liam looked shocked. My father never told me this. The old woman's voice trembled. And Maya, there's something else you must know about your mother? Suddenly, footsteps thundered outside the room. Richard Carter stormed inside furiously. Enough. The old woman lowered her head silently. Liam stepped protectively in front of Maya. Tell us the truth. Richard's face looked pale with rage and fear. There are things buried in this family for a reason. Maya clenched her fists. You ruined my mother's life, didn't you? Richard stayed silent. That silence answered everything. Maya turned toward Liam with tears burning in her eyes. Your family destroyed mine. Liam reached for her hand, but she stepped away. At that moment, Maya realized love alone might not survive this nightmare. And hidden upstairs, Liam's brother Ethan secretly smiled again while recording every second. The next morning, Maya disappeared. Liam searched everywhere. Her apartment. School. The bookstore. Nothing. Finally, he found one note left under his windshield. I can't fight your family anymore. Liam crushed the paper in his trembling hands. Meanwhile, Maya sat alone at a bus station miles away. She tried convincing herself leaving was the only way to protect her mother. But every memory of Liam haunted her. His smile. His voice. His promises. Then her phone rang unexpectedly. Unknown number. When she answered, Ethan Carter's cold voice whispered, If you really love Liam, stay away forever. Maya's eyes filled with fear. How did you get this number? Ethan laughed softly. You still don't understand what this family is hiding. Liam finally confronted his brother inside the family mansion. What are you doing to Maya? Ethan calmly poured himself a drink. Protecting the family. She loves me. Ethan smirked coldly. That's exactly the problem. Liam shoved him against the wall angrily. Then Ethan whispered something shocking. You think Dad fears scandal? No. He fears the truth. Liam froze. What truth? Ethan smiled darkly. The girl you love is connected to this family in ways you can't imagine. Before Liam could ask more, Ethan punched him hard across the face. You should stop digging, Ethan warned. Some secrets destroy people. But Liam noticed fear hiding behind his brother's confidence. And for the first time, Ethan looked desperate. Maya returned home secretly one night to check on her mother. But she stopped outside the apartment when she heard arguing inside. Her mother sounded terrified. You promised never to contact us again. Richard Carter answered quietly, I had no choice. Maya's heart nearly stopped. She slowly peeked through the cracked door. Richard stood there holding old papers in shaking hands. Then he said the impossible. Maya deserves to know who her real father is. Everything inside Maya collapsed instantly. A plate slipped from her trembling fingers and shattered loudly in the hallway. Inside the apartment, both adults turned toward the door in horror. And Maya suddenly understood why Richard hated her relationship with Liam so much. Maya ran through the streets crying while rain poured heavily around her. Liam finally caught up near the bridge downtown. Maya, please stop. She turned toward him with broken eyes. Your father is my father too. Liam's face lost all color. The world suddenly felt sick and twisted. No, Liam whispered. That can't be true. Maya handed him the documents Richard brought. DNA reports. Old letters. Hidden payments. Liam read silently while rain soaked the pages. Then he looked up slowly. This means. Maya nodded painfully. We're family. Both of them stood there shattered beyond words. But deep down, Maya noticed something strange about the documents. One signature didn't match the others. Liam refused to believe the papers completely. Something felt wrong. Late that night, he sneaked into his father's office searching for answers. Hidden inside a locked drawer, he discovered old hospital records and photographs. Then his hands started shaking. The DNA report Maya received was fake. Richard Carter was not Maya's father. Someone forged everything. Suddenly, Liam heard slow clapping behind him. Ethan stood in the doorway smiling. You finally figured it out. Liam stared at him in disbelief. You did this? Ethan's eyes darkened with jealousy. She ruined everything. Dad cared more about you after she arrived. Then Ethan revealed the terrifying truth. He had manipulated everyone from the beginning. Ethan confessed everything without regret. He leaked the photos online. He threatened Maya. He forged the DNA papers. And worst of all, he secretly caused Maya's eviction using company connections. She was never supposed to stay, Ethan hissed bitterly. Liam looked at his brother like a stranger. Why are you doing this? Ethan laughed painfully. Because Dad loved another black woman before Mom. And now history repeats itself with you. Years of jealousy exploded from him like poison. Liam realized Ethan spent his whole life feeling invisible. But none of that excused his cruelty. Then Ethan pulled out a lighter and smiled dangerously beside the office curtains. Flames spread through the mansion within minutes. Smoke filled the hallways. Alarms screamed everywhere. Liam fought through the fire, searching desperately for Ethan. He finally found him trapped under burning wood upstairs. "Leave me!" Ethan shouted. But Liam refused. "You're still my brother." Meanwhile, Maya arrived outside after receiving Liam's desperate text. Fire trucks surrounded the estate. Crowds gathered everywhere. Then she saw Liam carrying Ethan out through thick smoke. The brothers collapsed onto the wet grass, coughing violently. Richard Carter rushed toward them, crying openly for the first time in years. But Ethan grabbed Maya's wrist weakly and whispered one final secret. "There's something your mother never told you." At the hospital, Maya's mother finally revealed the truth. Years ago, Richard Carter truly loved Maya's aunt, not her mother. But his wealthy family threatened to destroy her life because she was black and poor. Heartbroken, Maya's aunt disappeared forever. Richard spent years secretly helping Maya's family out of guilt. "That's why he protected us from a distance," her mother whispered tearfully. Maya finally understood everything. Richard wasn't evil. He was broken. When Richard entered the hospital room, his eyes were filled with regret. "I failed everyone," he admitted quietly. Maya looked at him for a long moment. Then she stepped forward and hugged him tightly. And outside the hospital room, Liam watched with tears in his eyes. Months later, the city looked at Maya and Liam differently. The truth about Ethan's lies became public. News stations covered the scandal everywhere. People who once mocked Maya now apologized awkwardly. But Maya no longer cared about public opinion. She focused on her writing. Liam stood beside her through everything. One evening, he took her back to the riverside where they first kissed. The city lights reflected beautifully across the water. "I almost lost you forever," he whispered emotionally. Maya smiled softly. "But you didn't." Then Liam slowly knelt down, holding a small ring. Nearby strangers stopped walking. And Maya's eyes filled with tears before he even spoke. "Marry me," Liam whispered shakily. "Not because the world accepts us now. But because I can't survive another day without you." Maya covered her mouth, crying. Years of pain flashed through her mind. The bullying. The lies. The heartbreak. The fear. And through all of it, Liam never stopped loving her. "Yes," she finally whispered. Crowds nearby suddenly started clapping loudly. Some people cried openly, watching them embrace under the glowing lights. For the first time, Maya felt truly seen. Not as a poor black girl. Not as a scandal. But as someone deeply loved. Yet one final surprise waited for them both the next morning. On their wedding day, Maya received a package with no return address. Inside was an old photograph. Richard Carter stood smiling beside Maya's missing aunt decades earlier. Written on the back were simple words. "Love should never be hidden again." Maya cried silently, holding the picture close. Outside, music played beautifully while guests gathered under golden sunlight. Different races. Different backgrounds. All together. Liam waited nervously at the altar until Maya appeared in her white dress. The entire crowd stood speechless. She walked toward him slowly with tears shining in her eyes. After everything they survived, love finally won. And somewhere far away, Ethan watched the ceremony online from prison, realizing too late that hatred only destroys the person carrying it.